Salutations, Utopians. Hope all is well. What a jam packed action week. I know everyone's unwinding. I did not make a Super Bowl video. I just felt like the market was oversaturated already. I'm still working my way into the algorithm. With that being said, I do feel like a very substantive video needed to be dropped in regards to the Steve Wilks situation, defensive coordinator of the runner up San Fran 49ers. Um, First and foremost, congrats to the Kansas City Chiefs on being the world champions. Second of all, that was a great Super Bowl. I really thought the build-up was awesome. Tony Romo was very entertaining. I think the way it ended with Miko Hardman, you know, starting his season with the lowly Jets and the tragic news to Aaron Rodgers and to be catching a touchdown in the Super Bowl is truly remarkable, and it really is living proof that you just have to live every day with full intention and never ever lose hope. Couldn't have had a better story. Um, with that being said, also, unfortunately, with the news that happened in the parade, thoughts and prayers to all those who've been affected in any way. Uh, this country is just, we are in dire need of peace, and I don't know how exactly we can get to the best solution. With that being said, one of the headlines this week that really caught my eyes was the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan announcing they will be relieving defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, the key cog in the and signal caller of the number one defense in the NFL this year. Let me make myself abundantly clear. The San Francisco 49ers definitely, because Purdy's on a seventh round deal, are able to practically buy a roster. And I tell people all the time, throughout history, no matter what sport you want to talk about, uh, one thing that it never fails, a team that spends money relentlessly on their roster most of the time comes up short. It becomes underwhelming. I like to use the Hollywood analogy in terms of movies where, you know, uh, the movie that has too many stars normally becomes a box office flop. It's too distracting. The quality overall, it just starts to feel like an award show more than an actual script or being able to concentrate on the actual story. The same can be said with pro sports. You go spending a bunch of money on a roster, ultimately, it's inevitable you're going to come up short for one reason or another. Uh, I want to say Steve Wilks originally was a defensive coordinator on the Carolina Panthers. He had a very blitz heavy scheme, just shy of under 50% of the time blitzing. Gets to San Fran and he's not even blitzing a quarter of the time, he's considerably less. Uh, so already there was a philosophical difference between he himself and Kyle Shanahan. I thought it was very telling in overtime around the 250 mark when they were lined up in defensive formation. Kyle felt the need to call a timeout. Uh, Obviously, they didn't really care about timeouts. Overtime is the rules are different. A lot of people thought they needed to call timeout for stoppage of clock. First quarter in overtime is treated like, overtime quarter in the NFL is treated like first, second, third, fourth quarter. So there was no pressing time issue. He didn't like the formation that they were lined up in. This had been an ongoing thing. For all you people out there who think that getting fired is an indictment on the quality of your coach, you are poorly uh, opinionated on the matter. That doesn't mean that he's a bad defensive coordinator. He's had jobs in this league before. You don't make it to the 49ers by being a bimbo. So you can throw that notion out. Here's the thing, it's sports and entertainment, and nepotism runs strong, okay? And everyone has their people. There's been rumors now that Mike Vrabel, former head coach of the Tennessee Titans, and uh, a Bill Belichick disciple from his playing days, a true captain up there with the Teddy Bruschi's, Lawyer Malloy's, um, Gerard Mayo's, who was a captain for 2 years and now has been named head coach of the New England Patriots. It's one of those things where Sometimes you just want your people. It's a communication barrier, and you have every right. Kyle Shanahan is the coach of the San Francisco 49ers, and whether people want to like it or not, dude's been to a bunch of Super Bowls. Now, that's his third when you factor in his offensive coordinator role for the Atlanta Falcons as well. So, guess what? The guy has every right to pick who he wants, even if the dude's lesser talent. You want who you're comfortable with. It's why Jerry doesn't have a ring. He knows, oh, okay, well, maybe he held on to, maybe he's holding too long, held on a little too long with McCartney, or maybe he should have never paid Zeke that 100 mil. People go and they hire who they want, and I tell people all the time, billionaires, the same thing with the Rooney Rule. People want to, oh, you gotta have this kind of code. Look, you can't tell people how to spend their money. If Kyle Shanahan wants his ship to sink by picking who he wants, so be it. Steve Wilks and him were not what they thought they were together. I don't know how he made that mistake. I don't know how he let it roll all the way to the Super Bowl. He should have got him out of there by week 5 if that's the case. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's no foul play. I sim through Twitter X, and I notice a lot of people reposting their opinions of Steve Wilks from all races, from all backgrounds, saying that he needs to be relieved of his duties. So them waiting to the Super Bowl, and do I think Steve Wilks would have been terminated if they won the championship? Probably not, but he probably would have been let go within the first 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season next year. It is a touchy subject, so you definitely couldn't just terminate him any kind of way. But at the end of the day, it just didn't match. And it's crazy as it sounds. Well, he's the first. That's a very lazy assessment. Well, they held, yes, they held the greatest quarterback of all time, arguably, top 3, no question, to under 20 points in regulation. They lost the game by less than a touchdown. They lost by a field goal. Steve Spagnuolo on the same day got a contract extension, and his defense just gave up 3 less points in the Super Bowl. So it's just how the cookie crumbles, ladies and gentlemen, ironically enough. No reason to be upset, no reason to call foul play. It is what it is. As a casual, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. All right, y'all, I'm going to leave y'all to be. I hope that you have a great week. I'll try to do better next time. Global, out.